Welcome. We made it. None of us are frozen yet. It will happen. And it's okay. We'll log off, log back in. I know that my internet is weak because I see the little thing spinning. So let me know if like I go weird on you guys and I don't see it. Something in the atmosphere. I have been freezing all day. My hands are cold. My feet are cold. I've got on 3
Well, what's the
layers.
temperature there? You might have a good reason for it.
No, it's only like 42.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Yeah.
So normally, and it's sunny, I'm like, oh, let's go for a walk. Oh,
Right.
it's so cold. So I hope I'm not coming down with something. That's the only thing I'm thinking.
Yeah.
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 Oh, the chat is on. However, it's like thinking and spinning. Let me play with it for a minute.
There we go.
Okay. So if anybody can comment, please comment. It looks a little wonky on my end.
Yeah, it does here too. Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But we're not going to all sign off and all sign back in again.
There you go.
It says it's recording. So
yeah,
hopefully somebody will start in the chat and we'll see what happens. Or if they are starting a chat and we don't see it, we apologize. I apologize. The internet should apologize.
Right.
Uh-huh. Oh, it says that we do have a comment.
There we go. It's working. Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. Normally though, I can like click on them and the comments go on the bottom. It's not working, but it's Stacy. So Stacy, I see your comment. 42 is cold coming from Texas. You're in Texas,
yeah.
Oregon. 42 Agreed. Is cold for you guys. Absolutely. 42 for the middle of winter here is a warm day. Very warm day. All right. We're going to jump in around having some business banter. So we were briefly talking about leadership and what makes a good leader. And a top producer versus a low producing agent, right? Some of that is leadership. So boy, I don't need more coffee. I really don't. I promise. What's the most important part of leadership? Yep, I do have some right here. I actually have a
there you go. I'm out. I'm a little jealous.
Well, I had to go out and scan something because my printer was broken to you, Charlotte. I'm determined to get that to you today. So leadership. What's the most important part of leadership? And I know that's not a very clear question, so let's jump in. Charlotte, how would you answer that when I say what's the most important part of leadership, or when we're leading? Because I know if I keep saying the sentence, I'm giving you the answer.
Right.
When we're leading, what's the most important part of leadership? Who are we leading that really needs to be led?
I think for me, and I think this answer might change depending on your team, but for me, the most important part of leadership is being able to find what motivates your team. Right. So if that is clarity, for some people that might be clarity. So in that person, you've got to be the leader that gives them clarity. If it is somebody that they get sideways and they can't get themselves turned back up, or just being able to see each person on the team, seeing kind of, what makes them run and makes them do better so that they can then go do it. You can't do it for them.
Sure. Right.
But you can, being able to see what they need to motivate them to move the needle a little bit more. I think you can fail at a lot of things, but if you can help motivate them, I mean, we're grown-ups, right? They're grown-ups. They're adults. They can handle their own stuff. They just need somebody to help them get to that point where they feel, she's going to probably come back on. But I think being able to find the motivation.
However, I'm still looking for a different answer. So yes, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 10, right? It's not the wrong answer. However, if I'm really clear with the question, the answer is in the question. So where do you think I'm trying to lead, Karen? Do you have a guess? And hi, David.
So I wasn't able to hear Charlotte's because I evidently have a weak signal.
She was talking about echoing what motivate their team.
Charlotte said, but I think truly leading by example is very important. And in addition to that, showing your people that you are leading that you believe, and instilling confidence in them.
So yes, and you're almost hit the nail on the head, almost. So that when we talk about when we're in coaching, when I'm being certified as a leadership coach, the very first the first thing we talk about in leadership is leading ourselves.
Which is that example, right?
As I say,
Yeah.
Karen almost hit the nail on the head. The first aspect of leadership is leading ourselves.
Yeah.
No expectation, perfection expected, right? And we all have
Sure.
struggles and challenges, but how are we dealing with it? How are we overcoming them and learning from them versus hiding under the bed, right? Or putting our fist through a wall, right? So leading ourselves is the first aspect. Poor Karen. And then yes, leading others is second.
Yeah.
And so when we are leading ourselves, right, we're the number one person on our team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
then if
very
you're
true.
leading a family, it might be a spouse or children and co-leadership and all that kind of stuff. And for you and for me and for Karen, in our workspace, we are also leading people.
Yeah.
Like
it's
herding
interesting
cats.
that you say that because I know we talked about the 75 hard thing. We're doing, so 75 hard is that challenge where you have 5 things that are kind of hard to do that you consistently do every day to better yourself. It's typically a health
for
challenge.
75 days.
For 75 days. If you miss one thing in any day, you start back at the beginning. It's a hard challenge. Well, we created one for work. So we are calling it the 75 Hard Producers Edition. And we put together like what they had to do. And, I put in all the things, and there's like a very big prize because we matched everybody's, the company matched everybody's buy-in to the game. It's a game. I'm calling it a game. I'm trying to make it fun. But it's funny that you said that you have to lead yourself first, because I found that when I was creating it, I'm like, I need to do a version of this with them so that they don't feel like I'm just over here managing. Like I'm actually, they want to see that person. Like I need to be there to lead by doing, right? I need to show them that I can get through this the same way. So when I have my low days, I can share with them how I'm overcoming those low days. So I'm created my own. I can't do the exact same thing as them because I don't produce, but I created my own version and I'm tracking it with them so they can see me doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the leading yourself first, but it's also that when they're feeling their lows, seeing that we're not just sitting on our high desk somewhere else, not understanding where they are. If we're out there doing it ourselves and we're out there leading ourselves and making good decisions for ourselves, they can see that we are in the trenches with them. Even if we're not doing their exact same job, they see and they feel that. And I think that makes them feel better. I mean, more confident that they can do it.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And again, that falls under, well, with the challenge, we need to be as perfect as possible so we can win, right? So, right. And I'm so competitive. So one of the things, let me let Karen in. There we go. So Karen knows this. I'm extremely competitive. So and then I tend to not have a really strong start button. And I coach many people that don't have strong start buttons.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, I think there's one maybe listening to this right now. And it's real common. However, once Tanya Bugby starts, maybe weak. However, once I start, then I execute and finish it like a champ. I mean, and my competitive nature is not going to not win.
Right.
However, I do know my kryptonite, and that's actually the start button. But however, you, Charlotte, have a different kryptonite.
Yep. Now I start real fast.
And then what happens? Go ahead. Let us know.
I get a little messy in that middle, but I start real fast.
Yep. But however, again, when we lead ourselves, it's knowing that that's what our kryptonite is, and we need to set ourselves up with a coach or an accountability partner or something on our phone with an alarm to help us with that piece of kryptonite. Karen, you want to share your kryptonite? You don't have to.
Oh, it's the finish.
Really?
I'm good at starting.
Have a different one. Isn't that the coolest
thing? And if you could, If you could high level at my desk right now, you would go, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
But
Yeah.
isn't that why we make such a good team? Because you start, Karen. Charlotte, you start. I'm a weak starter. So you're starting the challenge. If you didn't start it, right, my help
Yeah.
goal would be postponed. However, you're helping me with the start button. Once I start, that's it. I don't need accountability for the middle or the finish. However, I know that you can lean into me for the finish and
Right. Yeah.
in the middle,
It's
right?
it's a good actually having that mixture is probably perfect for this any
Yep.
kind of business challenge where you're trying to do a project. Yeah.
Yep. So, Charlotte, I'm going to challenge you and Karen too, as your team grows and with the team you currently have, knowing where their kryptonite is.
Mm.
Because when you say what motivates them, maybe what's even more important is knowing where if they're not starting or they're going to
Where they're
get
going to
messy
have
in
the
the
weakness.
middle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Where
absolutely.
we can coach them, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. Or
Or
give them a
help them be
text and
aware
say,
that
hey,
they're
how's
about to
the
go
middle
through
coming
that.
along?
Like, uh-huh. Yeah. Hello,
Hey,
Phil.
Phil. So again, our internet's a little bit weird, Phil. Normally, I can put your comments up here on the screen, and it's not allowing me to. So we've got Phil, we've got David, we have Stacy. If Stacy's still here, and again, we're having a little glitch with sharing your comments. However,
I can see him though. At least we can see him
we
this
can
week.
see them off to the side. We just can't. Unfortunately, I can't share it. Let me try something real quick. Let's try it this way. Nope, looks like yep, it's just not cooperating today.
Oh,
Not just something wrong with the internet or restream or something. Yeah.
cool.
Okay, thank you
So,
for understanding, Phil.
I have news that I can share with you guys. You want to hear some news?
Uh-huh, I do.
We
I'm
do.
super excited. I have a very quick start button. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about how I used to ballroom dance 20 years ago. And he mentioned that maybe there was this Dancing with the Stars Louisville edition and said, would you do something like that? I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Of
He's like,
course
would
we
you do
would.
it like right now? I'm like, yeah. So I am now the celebrity, one of the 12 celebrities for a big fundraiser here in Louisville called Let's Dance Louisville. It's a fundraiser for a really cool nonprofit that feeds tons of the homeless in our community here. So like they give out 60,000 meals a year. So this is their big fundraiser, and I get to ballroom dance with a professional ballroom dancer and compete.
Fun.
So I'm going to be asking
Wow.
all of you guys to come to Louisville on June the 13th. Get a ticket, come and watch some dancing with, no, I can't say that. Let's Dance Louisville. I have to be careful. That's right, Amory. I'm going to be dancing. Amory knows she's got to come. I'm dragging her button. You're going to take pictures of me, right, Amory? She's the most amazing photographer.
You said June 12th?
So I get to get all glammed up. I was actually looking last night at some of the cool dances, and what a good reason to do the 75 hard right now, because in June, I need to look cute in a ballroom dress. So there you go.
Love it.
You're gonna look cute in a ballroom dance no matter what, and you're right. And everyone's just gonna look at your smile anyway because you're such a performer.
Right.
Karen and I have no doubt that you're gonna rock it.
I want to win.
That's awesome.
There's that competitive. I don't have to win everything, but in this, I want to win.
Of course,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I can't. I hope there's. I mean, if I will try to make it, and if I can't, there's got to be somebody videoing this, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I'll still be hitting you up for some tickets, even if you can't make it, because it's definitely a
fundraiser.
To you can win the best dance, you can win the most fundraising, or you can win the grand prize, which is the two together. That's my goal.
That's your goal. So while we're on the topic of Louisville and that area, right? And there's a link to it. Sorry, I can't share it. If I could share it, I would. I'm trying to, and it's just not letting me. We have Phil. I know Phil is going, right? Karen, you're going. I'm going. We're going to go to the John Acuff motivational event at the end of April in Nashville, right?
That's going to be awesome.
Actually, Franklin, but very close.
Franklin, yeah. I think that's where he lives. So I think he wants to keep it close to home. Yeah.
Well, I keep saying Nashville, so I fly into the right airport.
You
That's a good
are, yes, for sure.
One time I said Memphis, and I think Karen was like, "No, don't go to Memphis."
No.
Yeah.
No.
for many
It's a long
reasons.
So Nashville, yes.
Nashville. Yep.
Yeah,
And
so
we will
David,
definitely be
come.
hanging out.
I
It's
know
good.
Phil is going, right? And
Yeah.
you know, Stacy, Emery, we're all going to go to the John A. Cup. It's a day and a half. It's Monday, Tuesday. The last
And
weekend
if you
of May.
haven't read his soundtracks book, read his soundtrack book before you go. It's just so fantastic. I'm excited. I love the way he writes. Have you guys both read soundtracks?
Yeah.
Yes.
The way he writes is like you're talking to him. It's very much conversational. He's one of my favorite authors just because of how he writes. It's entertaining, and for an audio listener, it's great because it's like you're having a conversation with him. It's really good.
He's a pretty fun guy to listen to too. And I'm currently reading a book that he said was his favorite book, which is The Heart Aroused. And it's about your heart and your soul through poetry. So it's really deep in a lot of ways. It's deep thinking and it's deep feeling. Very good.
Well, your aesthetic, it's right up your alley. I'm not sure. Right?
I'll
look at you
trying to be like, what is all this rubbish?
Feelings about
too much feel good stuff.
You should hear my coach on one of our coach calls. He'll say, "So Tanya, so share some of the feelings you're experiencing." And I'm like,
right now I'm feeling frustration with sharing my feelings.
That's funny.
Yes, however, feelings are important. So yes. So Karen, what's happening with you, and anything you want to promote, anything you want to share about brokerage stuff? I'm trying to keep this very G-rated today.
I have a lot of fun stuff to share. So we are in full recruit mode in both Idaho and Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area specifically. So if you are an agent in either one of those areas looking to make a change in brokerages, reach out to me. Hopefully you're already hearing from me because we are literally reaching out to everyone that we can. We've got an upcoming training the end of March. And I actually just named it, so I had to write it down. Oh, the relationship business model. So we're going to be talking about from strangers to raving fans, and everyone kind of have a roadmap for that. So people from any agency, any state is welcome to join in, since it's not a state specific. Yeah. And then another thing that I can give just a little bit of information about, but not all of it, is we have what's going to be sort of our iconic listing coming up.
I'm so glad you're going to finally share.
Yeah. So there is one and only one privately owned island in the San Francisco Bay Area, and Rock and Associates is listing that. So super, super excited about that. Yeah. We're going to have a good time with that because the name of the island also includes the word rock. So I just feel like it's very
meant to be. Yeah.
So that's
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know you already hired a boat, hired a photographer, went out, took photos. I mean, it was so exciting to see you on a boat in this, that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting.
Yeah. So that was a super fun adventure. I mean, very different, right? You can't just hire the local real estate photographer for that.
No.
And so the day that we went out, the waves were pretty rough. And so they couldn't get too close to the island. And they put us in a dinghy, an actual blow up dinghy. And one by one,
called an inflatable.
Yeah. Okay. We got rowed. Someone rowed us out to the island. So, by the time I got there, I had a little salty water on my pants, and it was
sick? I think that may have made me sick, probably.
Probably would have made me sick too, believe it or not. Even after living on a boat for so many years that I lived on a boat, something happened after all my pregnancies where my inner ear just is so sensitive.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so excited for that.
It was a very fun adventure.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to see the marketing. I'm just waiting. It's going to be so cool. I love all the marketing that's going to come up for that. Talk about a cool challenge.
please share ideas, right? Because this is going to be so creative. So, and Charlotte, it is one of your superpowers is your creativity for sure.
Yeah.
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 You know what?
You
If
want to
don't mind-
brainstorm? That would be fun. I'd love that. Let's do it, Karen.
Well, and yeah, maybe if you don't mind, I'll send over my marketing proposal.
Yeah.
So you can launch from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be
Right.
awesome. That'd be so much fun. That'd be great. I
Yeah.
love that.
I love the
So-
comments. Thank you, everybody. Keep commenting. We do see them. I wish I could share them on the screen for
Yeah.
everybody else. I'm not sure if you can see each other's
American
comments
Idol.
unless I share. So good. Awesome. So how about you, Charlotte? Anything you want to promote or recruit or other than going to your fundraiser in June?
Yeah, the fundraiser is one of the closer things. We're doing a Bold by Design. We're going to do that in Knoxville. So if you guys remember, we did the Bold by Design in Louisville here last year. We'll probably do it again towards the end of the year. We're going to do a Bold by Design in Knoxville, which is going to be for agents, lenders, you name it, and the Knoxville market. It's just a really powerful day of business growth mindset, great networking. It'll be a fun time. So we're working on those details. We know it's going to be in April. So sometime in April that's coming. Got to figure out the exact venue and the exact date here. And then as far as big things coming up on the horizon, haven't told you this yet, Tanya, but I did rewrite 3/4 of my book.
Yay.
It's the Charlotte's book 2.0 because I hated the 1.0. I finished it, even got it edited and then hated it. So we are doing a rewrite and I got through chapter 5, the draft written. So I've just got to finish it up. Which I'll have a couple more planes to write on. I really write best on a plane. I don't understand that, but if somebody said, where's your writing space? Apparently I just need to travel more and get on more planes.
Oh, gee, that would be so harsh for you to have to travel more, right?
I put in my AirPods and just have so much fun. But yeah, and then you go somewhere pretty, which inspires you even better.
Right. So did you
but do those
actually
long
write?
plane rides, which means I'm coming to visit you all. So I'm on my way.
Did you actually write when you were in Sedona, or was it more hiking?
Not one time. I did not have any me time in Sedona at all. My husband was with me the first part of it, and then I wasn't expecting this, but I had a girlfriend come up, so we didn't have any me time, but I had plane time. So on the plane, I didn't get it done.
Good.
I mean, that's 8 hours of plane time. That's a lot of writing.
It is.
And the book was written. I'm just changing how I'm presenting it now. It's no longer going to be a boring textbook. Who needs boring textbooks?
Right.
I didn't like it.
Well, I certainly wasn't going to encourage you to publish something that you didn't like, right? So that was one of our best coach calls on that topic.
Yeah, I hate it. It's not just, it's just I did not like it. It was not something I would want to pick up and read. Again, my favorite author is John Acuff. So it was not John Acuff at all, not even close. Which I'm not thinking that I can be John Acuff because he's a great author, but I would like to be at least in that style.
Okay, so there was no self-limiting talk in that.
No, there wasn't.
Sentences.
I should say he has spent much more time in his writing style than I have.
Right. That one I will accept, right? And right, so you're more of a newbie. However,
That's right.
Yes. Okay, good. So I'm promoting my workshop. So this is the first time I've done this workshop. I've done Move the Needle many, many times. So that's kind of like my signature workshop. However, I have a new one on Tuesday, the 17th, called It's Time to Hire. And I think what spoke to me is so many of my clients last year needed to hire an assistant. And I helped them, rewrote the ads together. I actually did the interviews with them on Zoom. So we did Zoom interviews, and I'm currently actually training quite a few clients, assistants right now, or helping train on some topics. So because they don't have the time to do some of the things I can do.
Right.
So now it's a workshop. So if
That's
you know
awesome.
of anybody, or if anybody's listening that needs to hire and has a mindset that they can do it all themselves, or they're doing it all themselves, so they're missing their kids' games, or relationships are suffering and health is suffering, and we need to start delegating some things out, please show up. There's no charge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, but it's my first one, so please come, and I need the feedback, right? So
right.
Yeah.
When is that one going on, Tanya?
The 17th.
The 17th of February?
10 a.m. Pacific. And it's on my website. It's on Facebook. It's on LinkedIn. You can't miss it. Yep. I'm blasting it all over.
Yeah. Just because of the circumstances of how and when I hired, you were not a part of that, but you've been a part of helping to build her job description and refine things. And I can't even tell you how valuable that has been for our success together, for sure. So yes, anyone who's listening to this that's even kind of thinking about it, you should definitely tune in.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So let's circle back to leadership. So I have a question. Because it is so important as we lead ourselves or we lead our teams, and I lead my coaching clients, whomever I'm leading and whoever you're leading, what's one habit you've noticed that sabotages leadership? What stops momentum? What has somebody maybe go backwards?
Are you asking a question like what have I done, or like as a leader that I've done,
somebody on your team, right? We don't need to go that far with our own stuff.
Yeah, right.
You want to.
I would say definitely something that kills progress that I see a lot is that waiting for the perfect moment, or waiting for this to be done or that to be done, right? It's like just
do it.
Just do it.
That go button. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we can do it again. I mean, one great example that I see in coaching is a simple flyer. Oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I'm not ready. I'm like, get it out. You can do it again. You can tweak it, right? If it's whatever it is. But that perfectionist saboteur is strong with so many people.
There's
great example, Karen.
There's a business book, probably goes back to the 90s, and it's like Death by Meeting or something along those lines. And that's exactly it. It's like that constant trying to perfect. And then you never launch your product or your product.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. And Phil says it's never going to be perfect. Well, you know me, I don't believe in perfection. However, really good is great. Yep. 9.9. 9.9. How about you, Charlotte? Where do you see people self-sabotage?
Yeah. So as far as the team self-sabotaging, just getting in our world, getting into the weeds too much. So knowing what you need to, I feel like, again, they're all adults. They know what they need to do to grow their business, but it's easier to work in the weeds. And sometimes it's gratifying to work in the weeds because you can get a problem solved and you can be a part of it. But really, it's when people start to trust pushing that to the teammates. And in our world, it would be, trusting your ops. And even if it's not perfect, that whole perfect thing, you might be able to do it better. But if you can delegate it out to the team and let them do their part, even if it's not exactly when you want it to be done, it's done within a reasonable time. You've got your SLAs, your time frames that you expect to be done, but they get working in the business so much that they totally miss the opportunity of calling a great potential next client. A very good example of this is when we're working as a lender, we have our buy-side agent and our listing agent on a transaction. You typically have two people that you probably have a relationship with one of them. More than likely, you oftentimes have a relationship with the buy-side agent, but there's oftentimes that new listing agent, and this is your time to shine. And getting to the closing table is really important. You want to make sure you're on a team that can get you to the closing table. But being a part of every decision in that is not yours. You should be absolutely spending that time wowing the cuts out of the agent on the other side. And I think that is where, if I look at the difference between the people that are working, because most of my team works the same amount of hours, where I'll put the dedication in. The difference in the people that are the top performers, those mid performers, are the ones that they sit there and work in the business constantly, and they're not taking the time, and they think that if they step away for a second, the life is going to blow up. And that's just not the case. With that being said, the really good performers are the ones that know how to do that in the middle of everything and work on the business at the same time. When you can blend that and actually be working on your loans and getting new business all in the same conversation, like every conversation you have, even if it's a working in the business, is a loan conversation or to get new business conversation, those are your superstars.
So, Karen, you're going to think that Charlotte and I planned this, and we did not. I promise. So when I was going to ask you this question, so my answer, because I've been totally on football analogies and metaphors lately, and which is so ironic because I don't typically watch football. However, I have a client that does, so I wanted to use a football metaphor just the other day, literally this week. So, and if I get this backwards, he laughed at me. It's okay. And so what Charlotte was saying, a lower producer is focused on the contract to the close. So in football, that's the snap to the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I have it backwards, you can make fun of me. So I think I said the whistle to the snap, but it's the snap to the whistle, right? Is the contract to close. So for a realtor, a lender, doesn't matter. For me, it would be a coach call, right? And that, right, is like, I don't have to coach that. Typically,
right.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes we work on open house things and better communication, but for the most part, it's the snap to the whistle. That's the outside stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so what's the difference between a low producer and a top producer is that they are just as good of the snap to the whistle than the whistle to the snap.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm confusing everybody, I apologize. However,
Yeah.
you can see the light bulb go off in my client's head with that metaphor, because that's the difference, is being good at both.
It is.
And learning that they're both equally as important. I mean, if I never followed up with you guys or did a workshop, my business wouldn't grow, right? And if you guys didn't talk about customer service and what you do outside of the contract to close, your business, you'd stay a lower producer, right, Karen?
Yes, most definitely. Well, and
I know you excel at this. From the whistle to the snap is your superpower, both of you.
And listening to Charlotte's example about, kind of being in the weeds and in the business, and it is kind of fun, right? It's sort of fun to be in there and know what's going on. However, I think that's where, and this is something Tanya talks about all the time with us, is having our backup band, right? Having and trusting our backup band. And that's so important, because even if you dip your, head into the file occasionally, if you've got people that you can trust and are doing the work, that just makes us shine even more, right? That I'm not this person that has to handle it all.
Right.
Right. So I think that's important. And I think that's a really tough lesson for a lot of people. Some people want to kind of be the hero of it, right? I'm watching this.
Right.
I'm like, it's a newborn, right? I'm holding this newborn, and yet it's okay to let someone else hold your newborn and help you out.
And I was just thinking of something, thinking about a couple of my top producers, because they do work in the business. I mean, they have to work in the business, but truly, I feel like new people and people that don't get this will be working in the business. So for us, that would be, I'm figuring out the debt ratio. There's a fire. I'm putting out the fire and making sure that everything's organized. I'm there. And they're thinking, when I get this all done, then I'm going to be like, look how great I am. Send me business, right? That's the normal. Like, I'm going to wow them by getting it to closing. And then at closing, I'm going to show up at closing and be like, hey, I'd love to work with you in the future, right? That's type one. All of my top producers, all of my people that do over 20 million a year have perfected the ability of, I'm putting out the fires. I'm putting this out. By the way, I would love another loan.
Right.
In the middle of the fire. Does that make sense? So they're using the fires and the working in the business at that time to go ahead and start generating. It's that go button. They're doing the go button way early so that they're already asking for business. So by the time they get to closing, they've already established rapport and relationship. It's not a look what I did, let's do business. It's a, hey, how are you doing? It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah.
All of my top producers have figured out how to integrate working on the business while they're working in the business.
Well, and that's the key. They learn to integrate. I love what Phil, you're such a smart ass. Do you see what Phil said? Because you guys know you can't pick a 7,
Oh.
right? Right? Okay. So, right, top producers integrate, lower producers get stuck in imposter syndrome. That's extremely confident. And then they use the contract to close time as an excuse that they don't have time to do either the lead generating or the customer service or whatever that looks like, and it ends up being an excuse. And I'm not talking about somebody who's maybe it's their first transaction or second or third. That's different, right? Absolutely. However, 2 or 3 years into the business and we're still using the excuse, well, I've got a contract, right? I've got a client, I've got a home inspection. Then it becomes an excuse. And it's not such a pretty coach call.
Yeah. So having the confidence, you said it, having the confidence to, instead of thinking you have to prove yourself to get in front of them, to know they want to get to know me now. I don't have to prove anything. Let's start networking at this immediate time.
Exactly.
Yes. And I love David saying the smallest details truly matter. They do.
Yeah, they do.
Or remembering the details for later, whatever that looks like, what their favorite food is or something, right?
Yep.
Those things matter.
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
And we're all pretty good at that, thankfully, right? Like listening, catching those cues.
Yes. And everybody I coach, almost everybody I coach is really good at it. Super good at it. Even before the book Unreasonable Hospitality, right? However, I think almost everybody I coach, either my executives outside of real estate or inside the real estate arena, have read that book. Yeah. And it has been, maybe not life-changing, but definitely changing.
Yeah. It just takes it to a whole nother level. We all want to give that level of service, but seeing how crazy outside the box you can be and still be successful is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a question that we ask ourselves within the team all the time is, okay, what is that next level for this, right? We're already here. We're already performing really high and doing well with it, but there's always another level. So what is that in this situation? And it's always fun to brainstorm that stuff.
Yeah. So Charlotte, your ears must have been burning because Karen and I were talking about you on our coach call the other day. This was years ago when you were producing, and I was so impressed with your realtor boxes.
Oh yeah.
What was in them?
They still have them. It depends on the season, but we send a box. It's like just a little box that has, some tchotchke stuff in it. I think right now we've got hand sanitizer because it's winter and flu season. That's got our little logo on it. Typical thing. And we've got little notepads that are in there that have, it's an Atlantic Bay branded little flip book with sticky notes in it. Goodness, it's changed, but imagine a box with 4 little tchotchkes that are unique, and then a handwritten note from the loan officer, and then just a little basic information type flyer. So the first time an agent works with us, and so they get the box one. So every time on the buy side or on the sell side, as soon as an agent works with us, my marketing girl, she gets that list, she puts it together, and we send that out. But I also like our buyer boxes. So Tanya, we may have done this after I quit producing, so I think you might know about them. But we also do, about 10 days prior to closing, we mail out same size box, but it's got a box cutter with a permanent marker combo that's got our little logo on it. And we have Atlantic Bay boxing tape and a couple trash bags, things that you need when you're at that last little bit, just emptying your house, about to be done and moving into the next house. And we send that out to all of our buyers right before we close. It's just like a little prep. They love it. I mean, you can have a closing gift, but to surprise them just before closing with that little thinking of you, I think it's a real nice person.
I love it. And Karen does, and Karen, I must have spent 2 hours on Facebook looking for that photo when you left. And again, I'm not going to name names, but however, you had sellers leaving, right? So you sold them their home, they're leaving, and you days before they left their home, you delivered a phenomenal basket of goods I mean, it wasn't this basket. It was probably, I don't even know if it was all in a basket. I think it just covered the entire countertop of everything they needed for the last 2 days of it. And she posted it on Facebook, and I can't for the life of me find it.
Yeah, well, actually, even better yet, I think it was my client that posted it on Facebook.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. I was thinking about, what it's like when you pack, and then all of a sudden you're like, you don't have service
wine,
or plates or wine or a corkscrew for the wine, and so it was basically like a 2-day survival kit for their last couple of days at home, and then they were driving to their next destination. So road trip snacks. So of course there were some red wines and, just little stuff to let them know that, I'm right there with you, because, at that point, and the same time, Charlotte, that you're talking about where you send your buyer box, there's so much going on in their world. Like those little thoughtful moments are important.
And they're kind of stressed out because they're probably trying to figure out how everything's going to flow. So just a good feeling, good feeling.
Yes.
So now that we're on the topic of boxes, and I have one sitting right here, because I now have a box.
Oh, look at that box. That's beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
That's a fancy box. I love that.
When I go door knocking at brokers and I have something to leave them, and then there's a message on the inside.
Love that.
Yeah, that's my box.
Love it.
I fill it with flyers and tchotchke, and I will, when I go into town, I will get some Bend has some famous baked goods like cardamom rolls. They're called ocean rolls. I will put something in here, or cookies or something, and my flyers and some tchotchkes. I have like a stress ball. But there you go. Great. There's a box.
That's
perfect.
Awesome.
I love that.
So there we go, upping our service.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. All the cool little things.
Yeah. So good. I had fun today. Anything else you want to add before we've gone 45 minutes. Anything else you want to add before we hang up? I certainly want to thank everybody who showed up, and I'm sorry I couldn't share your comments, but David and Phil and Emery and Stacy, that's who I saw. And if I didn't see you, I apologize, because for whatever reason, the chat is still just whirling and twirling and not loading.
I do want to know what David Cause, is his name David Cause? He said mirror ball. I don't know what mirror ball he's talking about. Is when we were talking about dancing. What is a mirror ball?
Now that's what hangs, right? That's what hangs in the ceiling.
The disco ball.
Like a disco ball. Disco ball?
Disco ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know what a disco ball is. Oh yeah.
I hope I'm right. If David were wrong, you got to let us know.
All right.
That's funny. I love it. That's so funny. All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I really Dancing with the Stars. There we go. All right, everybody.
I'm just hoping that maybe after they see the Louisville Let's Dance Louisville Dancing with the Stars is going to call me and be like, "We want you on our show." That's what's going to happen, right?
Yes, it is.
You're going to put that out in the universe, right? We are manifesting for Charlotte. All right, I'm going to stop the stream. Bye, everybody. Thank you.